The morning after Thanksgiving starts with breakfast. We're going to spray some oil in a pan on medium-low heat, and into 3 cracked eggs add some green onions, red onions, a mix of garden-grown peppers, serrano, jalapenos, Tabasco, and cayenne, along with a few dry seasonings, seasonal, black pepper, and chili powder. We're going to mix it up a little and add in about a cup's worth of our diced leftover turkey. Then it's time to cook. It works well as a scramble, but I prefer to go with an omelet, so we're just going to spread it out in the pan evenly and let it cook on a low heat. After a few minutes, when it's cooked up halfway, we'll pick up the pan and help distribute the uncooked part around. This way we'll avoid having it fall apart when we flip it. Once we see it slide when we move the pan, we know it's time to flip. After that, we'll let it cook for about 30 seconds max, and then plate it to eat. So what do we got?
I got a teaspoon of the margarine, and I got tablespoon and half of olive oil, and we got little red onion, white onion, and the bell pepper. And I'm gonna add a very teeny mini bit of the hot peppers since we like little spicy. I'm adding homemade simple masala. Add 1/4 of a teaspoon garlic powder, half a teaspoon of chili powder seasoning, not the cayenne pepper. We're just gonna stir it. We don't want to overcook, just like roughly about half of sliced up turkey is breast and the red meat part, the leg part.
For the noodle part, it doesn't really matter what brand ramen you use because we're going to toss aside the seasoning. We're just going to take out the dry noodles. We've already got some water boiling, so we're just going to drop the noodles in with the strainer so we can take them out easily. Meanwhile, while that's happening, our turkey is continuing to cook over here and taking the flavors from the peppers and seasonings. Okay, now our noodles are ready to break apart. Just gonna go ahead and help them out a bit there.
Just pull them lightly so you don't break them. But they really don't take no time to cook at all. Plus we're gonna finish them in here, so we're just cooking them just enough in that.
To complete our brunch dish, we'll take the noodles to a turkey and pepper stir fry, spend a minute mixing it together, and then we'll drop it in a bowl to eat. I'm also going to add some green onions on top because they make everything better.
I got the cast iron skillet on kind of medium low heat. I'm gonna butter the pan. I'm gonna put our tortilla in there. And it fits perfectly. And this is the cheese I'm using. So I'm gonna put the cheese first to kind of glue everything down. I got about roughly half a cup of the turkey chopped up is mixed red meat and the breast part. Sprinkle just a touch of seasoning just to flavor it. Even homemade simple masala, that's what I'm using because it got cumin and everything in it. I'm gonna use the bell peppers for nice taste and the color. Got some red and white onions. Teeny bit of the homegrown garden peppers is cayenne, then serranos and jalapenos, everything mixed up. Teeny bit of cilantro since it's a Mexican dish. The Indians love cilantro too. And now it's the fun part. I'm gonna top it up with the cheese real good. Few green onions, and they're actually mixed up. There's some green and the white part of it too. And now come the other part of the shell. I'm gonna lower the heat a little more because I want everything to nicely get done so the tortilla don't burn and everything inside is not looking done. And I'm gonna butter this side. This will give it real nice flavor, crispiness and the color. Okay. Very easy, you can tuck it in. And now we're gonna leave it 5 more minutes just let it slowly turn this color here.
We're using leftover dough from naan we made on Diwali. You can of course use store-bought naan if you don't feel like making dough though. The main thing is having your naan in a greased cook surface on medium-low heat. Once the naan surface begins to bubble, we're going to flip it and add some sauce to the top. Again, since these are lazy leftover meals, we're using a simple sauce. We've just taken 12 ounces from a store-bought pasta sauce, added a tablespoon of olive oil, and a quarter teaspoon each of oregano, seasonal, and chili powder. That's chili seasoning mix, by the way, not hot chili powder. Then we throw on a little bit of pizza blend cheese and a lot of mozzarella. And then it's time for toppings of your choice. We went with some red onions, more of those garden peppers, a little crushed red pepper, some bell peppers, and finally our preheated leftover turkey. Now, while we're adding those things, the naan pizza is continuing to cook. So by the time all of our toppings are added, we just have to wait for the cheese to melt before removing.
Okay, I'm gonna butter the frying pan. And I'm gonna put the buns in there and toast them. Okay, I just flipped them. I'm gonna remove them in about a minute.
We're going to leave them on our tawa back here so the buns stay warm.
Add this much margarine, it's about a tablespoon roughly. The turkey too. I'm just making 2 sandwiches, so I'm just gonna have just enough what I need. Leftover mashed potatoes. I didn't use the box. This microwave capability, and that's what I had made them out of. Then I'm gonna turn the back griddle off. You don't want to. Roughly sprinkle about a teaspoon worth of our homemade simple masala. Quarter of a teaspoon garlic powder. Quarter of a teaspoon black pepper. Gonna add spicy honey barbecue sauce, roughly about a couple of tablespoons worth. A teaspoon worth of mustard to give that little tangy taste. It takes about 5-6 minutes to heat it up nicely. Few red onions on, you can put white or red or leave them off, it's up to you. Move the buns, put them into the plate. So that easy. This is hot enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it onto the buns. Okay, now I warmed up some leftover shells and cheese to make the sandwiches cheesy. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that on.